Enjoy the show. Play on Perjangers.
But now we go live to the 152nd Triforce podcast, but ultimately the 323rd Perjangers and Wallhangers Media Network presentation. We are the only podcast to make bad look worse than Ezra Miller. We are the Triforce podcast, of course. I'm your host, Matthew Bugrell, the Matman, and in my Perjanger box to my left is one Christopher Bristow, the old man, ever so tiny in the corner right above the name for some reason. And our Iron Kelly Collins. And of course, our omnipotent presence that is Big Brother, Stephen Bucarell. And of course, yeah, I know, man, hero of time, Link Diablo, can't forget him. We gather here because we want you to hop on over to pjandwh.com, where we are ever so fine-tuning and moving, because you'll notice we're not going live on Perjangers and Wallhangers Facebook. We're going live on Facebook.com/TriforcePod, because we are ever expanding. Lugnuts went live on Facebook.com/Lugnuts Podcast. So we're moving outwards and onwards, expanding ever so slightly. And old man, you've just done something today that is something we talked about for a while, but we might as well just mention it now in the beginning of the podcast. Old man, you, sir, made the Perjangers store.
I made two stores. I made one on streamlabs.com /merch, and then the other one was affiliate through Teespring, and we have all logos and merch available on both websites.
Yes. And a lot more merch is going to be popping up there. There was like a jacket, t-shirt, mugs, lots of different stuff. We're going to be expanding that as we continue, but we're going to be giving you more stuff and more content, more different things that we can think up. Obviously, this
is all an effort to kind of build the podcast and the media company to be self-sustaining. So if you like us, if you like what we're presenting, if you have an idea, reach out to us. If you have any logo ideas, we can cross collab and, work out a deal. So
absolutely, man. Reach out by contacting the team. There's even a tab for that, don't you know? Contact the team. Find us on all social media handles: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter, as well as, do you have a Luggy and Nutty ride? Best way to get our attention is contacting us right here. Boopity booping that old button right there. And we start off this podcast the same way with tonight. Game of Snow, Unreal Martial Arts, Fallout in London, and so much more on the Triforce podcast. We hop on over to our first story, which of course is Primal Season 2 is set for a summer 2022 release date on Adult Swim. Creator Gennady Tartakovsky hints at what's to come for the heroes of his hit action series, which is coming back with all new episodes this summer. No definitive release date, but Tartakovsky stated that while the first season was about Spear and Fang surviving despite the grief in their lives, Season 2 will apparently be about the duo on a revenge mission to rescue Mira. Tartakovsky also states that the second season will be bigger, grander, and surprising. The second season is more experimental and is going to be very memorable, in quotes. So, did you get a chance to check out Primal, old man?
I have not, so I've been busy.
It's very good. Big Brother and myself, we did watch that. It was nice because you didn't need words. It was all on this early humans' interactions with this dinosaur, and it would not look like that. But it's inspired by vintage pulp novels and Conan the Barbarian. So
you mean people weren't animated?
No, they weren't drawn like that.
You mean they killed all the animated people?
They did. It was the animated massacre of 50,000 BC. It's little known, but you heard it here first.
I think you're off by 10,000 years there, sir.
It's okay. They just found out the human cradle of Australopithecus is actually 1 million years older than they thought. So you're finding out more things as we go on in this podcast. But
You mean history's a lie?
it is all live, written by the victor, as they said in Modern Warfare 1. So Primal follows a caveman-type hero named Spear, who vocalizes in grunts and roars, which is really adds to the artistic flair to it, because that's what I loved about this. It was almost very Samurai Jack in that you had that pure colors, but you didn't need words. It was almost like Mandalorian, to where you didn't need to see his face. There's that artistic flair to that it speaks to that's what makes it different. And that's what I think fans, this is a critically acclaimed show too. And fans really are, standing behind this and really loving that it is getting another season. So, especially since we like to highlight anime and animated things, I always wanted to highlight this because it is a really good idea. Because this series came out of nowhere, I want to say around pandemic, and it just surprised the hell out of me because it's just the series follows the two Fang and Spear as they travel across an untamed wilds of this fantasy prehistoric world, encountering cults, witches, and all sorts of gore-filled adventures. So it has that adult tone with also having this artistic animated flair, and it's just that perfect right of sugar and spice that you will love. A lot like you might like this next story. I don't know. I mean, you didn't really like how it ended, so, I mean, I doubt you like the sequel. Game of Thrones, Jon Snow is set to get his own series, or HBO is in early development on the Game of Thrones sequel. Series is focused on the character Jon Snow, Hollywood Reporter reports. It's a live-action series, and Kit Harington is attached to reprise the role he made famous. The series is set after the events of Game of Thrones, making it the first sequel out of the gate. No less than 8 Game of Thrones spinoffs are in the works right now. So, old man, a lot of Game of Thrones stuff. Obviously, we got House of Dragon. I think that's coming up first. And now you have, I mean, at the end of Game of Thrones, regardless of how you felt, ultimately, I did want to know what happened to Jon Snow.
He went off to the north. Happily ever.
I think his watch has ended.
That happened like at season 3. So what?
Yes.
That's why I'm saying he's out there with the wildlings. There's that almost like Life Below kind of like flair to like, all right, well, what's it after? Like, you don't have this, evil race impending to kill everybody. You got nothing but the untamed north that nobody really knows about. Besides, this race of people have just kind of been running for their lives. So expanding on that, I see as a logical move. Especially
until they fuck it up again. Sure.
I mean, you got Kit Harington is going to just ultimately, he's all right. You want to pay me? Sure. Why not? Like, why wouldn't you? But like, they're going to be expanding all off of this. Like House of Dragon, I was just down for, especially after listening to Fire and Blood, that chronicles of like Fall of Valyria. This is how Aegon the Conqueror came through, and all his lineage happened, and this is where you get to Game of Thrones. Like, that is, that's a lot of history that they just kind of do as like a History Channel, like, documentary. And there's a lot of story that you can have in there to where this is just untamed story. Like,
okay.
I want to see an Arya show. She went off into a different continent that nobody has even talked about in the book series.
Nor should they.
Do you see it like showing the monster?
I see that the human imagination is a lot more powerful than having it written out for them, because then it's one linear path.
Well, here's the thing. I would like, if they were going to do like an Arya show, right? This is my pitch. You mix this Game of Thrones vibe with Attack on Titan, right? To where you go to this Eastern world and they're like us, like modern day, boom. You guys are just like that third world country. We left you alone because you didn't have interaction with people. Like that, I feel like would be an interesting story to where Arya just stumbles into this like, I am no one. Yeah, you are. And she gets in a taxi and drives off. Like, what is this world? I think would be really interesting. Like, doesn't have to be modern day, but just more advanced than them. What do you think? I think I got gold on that one, man.
I think.
I would love for something to be set in along the same timeline and in the same world, but you don't know it until she just randomly pops up in an episode as that same character.
Okay, so it's just set in this world, and then randomly, like end of season 1, she just pops up at the last 5
And
minutes.
then that's how it's connected. You don't even know that it's a spinoff.
That'd be good for a season 1. You name it something innocuous that could be tied to it, could not.
Because it could be tied to any IP, and then all of a sudden you see her at the last 5 minutes of like this whole buildup.
Didn't they do that to like one of the Alien movies? Or they tried to. No, there was like a Ryan Reynolds movie. That's when I'm crossing this with an idea. There was a Ryan Reynolds movie about space to where there was this black goo that they caught from an asteroid and bringing it back to Earth. And it was a Sony picture. So they were trying to say that this was a prequel to Venom. I forget the name of the movie. It didn't do well. But I know Ryan Reynolds was in it. And that's what kind of got nerds speculating. But almost like.
Yeah, the other movie you're thinking was Michael Fassbender with.
Yes.
That was a badass movie though.
Yes, it was. But I like that there's a lot of ways you can go with Game of Thrones. Big Brother, what would get you to click on it? A prequel or a sequel?
I don't know. I think Kit Harington sounds like a detective in a pulp novel.
He does.
Yeah.
What was the name of that one on
Or
Picard?
a guy in a holodeck.
Yeah.
One of the holodeck.
Prometheus was that movie.
Yes,
That
Prometheus.
was a really good movie.
No, but what was that? It was Picard. It was that it was almost like a Dick Tracy kind of novel series on the holodeck.
He's a holodeck.
Yeah.
It sounds like a made up name. It's too perfect.
My name's Kit Harington. I've been a PI for 10 years. I thought I saw.
Well, I mean,
everything.
now
I
it
wanna
won't
see
look
that.
so weird with them talking into their wrists because it's like, oh, Joe Jitsu calling Dick Tracy.
They had iWatch well before anybody. But then again,
Yeah, and it was animated in the 60s.
that's leading to sci-fi creating the technology we have to where Star Trek did that, Dick Tracy did that. Like they were sci-fi fans and they were like, you know what, let's learn about this science thing. So it inspired them, and they're like, you know what, I always wanted a Dick Tracy watch. Now I have an iWatch.
A lot of the stuff that was inventive became, a lot of the science fiction became fact.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for Star Trek and Star Wars and shows
Flash
like
Gordon.
Dick Tracy, we would have never had those products.
Yeah.
Ever. Because it was just someone thinking that it can happen.
Yeah. 100%. It's just, that's where this nerddom and sci-fi really lend to the creative spirit. And a lot like the creative spirit of this next story. It's an older story, but I've been holding on to it because it was announced like last week. And I was so excited about this because Wonder Man is joining the MCU in a new series from Shang-Chi director. Hollywood Reporter learned that Creighton will serve as executive producer developing Wonder Man series, and the project will see Creighton join forces with Brooklyn Nine-Nine and community writer-producer Andrew Guest, who will serve as head writer on the Wonder Man show. In addition to duties as executive producer, Creighton could potentially direct an episode of the Wonder Man series, which is not out of the realm in the MCU, if not more. Production on Wonder Man could begin in 2023, though the series is set to be in early stages of development at this time. Regardless, Creighton is still hard at work on developing the Shang-Chi sequel for Marvel, so this is probably going to happen after that. And you know how Marvel's interweaving their movies and their stories. Wonder Man was a big part of Marvel in their history. He was actually, I think, one of their first characters. Started off as a villain, then turned into a hero, then an integral part of multiple different teams and the MCU. Had infamously a relationship with Wanda Maximoff, to where a lot of these MCU polls that they do are like little snippets of like, all right, we'll take this relationship here. Wanda's emotionally unstable, so we could have him as her next boo thing as Wonder Man, and we can introduce him now that we're getting more cosmic, a lot more different heroes and powers. It's a lot more openly acceptable that there's a lot more supers in this universe. So this I see is a very smart move for them adding in Wonder Man.
I'll allow it.
I mean, I don't know much about him,
I
but
think he likes Wonder Bread.
he was initially introduced as a villain in Avengers comic from 1964. Wonder Man was later reimagined as a hero who would eventually become the founding member of the
I
West
thought he was a
Coast
Strowman's
Avengers.
guy.
Nah,
he
man.
likes
Only
the
wonder,
wonder.
wonder, do I wonder what's in his Wonderballs. But founding member of the remember Wonderball? It was an amazing candy. Callie, do you remember Wonderballs? And do you know much about Wonder Man's Wonderballs? Might be the title of the podcast.
Wonder Man's Wonderballs?
Yeah.
It looks like this.
Yeah,
Where's the cursor?
right there.
Can't find it. There it is.
That guy. That's Wonder Man.
Oh,
And Shang-Chi producer is going to be making a Wonder Man TV series. He was a founding member of the West Coast Avengers, and by the 80s, Wonder Man's alter ego, Simon Williams, was famous for his role as actor and stuntman, but he eventually developed a sibling-like relationship with Vision through his iconic energy powers and brainwaves. And Vision was dismantled. Wanda Maximoff asked Wonder Man to use his powers to rebuild Vision with his original personality, but Wonder Man refused because he had developed feelings for Wanda.
I just look up Wonderballs.
Yeah, it had like sugar candy in the center and it was a chocolate
I think the wrong
outside.
thing popped up first.
Probably. I would imagine with Google, probably. And knowing this podcast, Google's like, nah, you mean this. No, Google.
How do you spell cephalopod?
Starts with the C.
No tentacles here.
Think.
Details on the project are scarce, but I like this as a project, especially with Wonder Man. I mean, you have him in the in the MCU. It just seems like they're trying to make the West Coast Avengers because they have U.S. Agent, they're developing Wonder Man. They have all these different characters like White Vision that they're adding in here.
Dark Avengers are coming up soon, right?
There's rumors they're working on Dark Avengers, but I also think they're more in the long run running towards Secret War and an adaptation of that, because Kevin Feige recently said that the big baddie and the direction of the MCU has been hinted at, to where obviously the next Thanos-like event is Kang. We know he's the big baddie in Ant-Man, which is next year, I think beginning half of next year, because they moved it up.
Yeah,
So,
Paul Rudd will still have not aged by then.
he doesn't age. He's an android. We talked about this last time.
A few of them.
Cyborg, thank you very much.
I'm being technologist.
You can't say the word droid or you have to pay George Lucas $1,000 each time.
Fuck, I owe him a lot of money. Anyway, but these aren't the androids you're looking for. The overall vision, if you were, of the MCU, I see as going towards more of Kang being that Thanos role, but ultimately him being the reason why we get the mutants and other like Fantastic Four and other things in Phase 5.
Which will introduce Galactus.
Exactly, and he'll probably be Phase 5's villain, because what they did with Thanos is Thanos introduced us to like Guardians and Nova Corps, and now we're going to be getting Adam Warlock, like a lot more cosmic, Ms. Marvel, and with the recent Ms. Marvel episode, we saw a big blue hand. Well, there's only one species in the MCU that has a gigantic big blue hand.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
by the
setting up.
way, spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah. But that's setting up in humans and a whole bunch of different stuff cosmically. So they have these little Easter eggs in these movies and content and TV
What
shows
if they
that
like
we're
mixed
watching.
it up and it was Dr. Manhattan's hand?
Eh,
Damn.
Like
That'd be the ultimate crossover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Dr. Manhattan DC?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dr. Manhattan's
Watchmen is
DC.
DC.
The Watchmen's DC?
I
love
have the
that movie.
omnibus of the Doomsday Clock, which I still have yet to read.
Magic bus. Omnibus.
The
Dr. Manhattan's a little OP.
Doomsday's Omni Magic Bus. There we go.
Don't say
Squirrel
don't
could be
say
in
it
there.
again, because Big Brother will go on his pants tirade.
Oh, because he's naked the whole movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's got a
Yeah. The Dr. Manhattan pants thing. That's been in a couple podcasts. I think
little blue-headed
I think he's really raged out the whole pants thing.
Eh,
You know, we watched the Watchmen series, and you know,
between
pants.
the pants on Manhattan and Daredevil not being a good lawyer.
Yeah, like
I mean, if you're a lawyer, I mean,
It all
Don't you
surrounds
talk
New
about-
York anyway.
Don't you talk about Matthew Murdock that way?
look, Big Brother's.
he will take your case for free, but he may not show up.
Well, that's what he has Foggy for.
No, that
If
guy
Foggy's a
walked
real
out. I'd
hero.
walk out on him too. That guy's a dick.
I mean, yeah,
Foggy
he
is a
kind
real
of-
hero in that show.
Yeah,
I mean-
yeah, that's
I'm not saying
someone sees it.
I'm not saying your point doesn't have credence.
Yeah.
Who's gonna stop the hand?
But what's
That
credence?
evil ninja corporation. What does it matter if you got a legal
Electra?
win in civil court if the hand just blew up half New York?
Electra
that
could
to
take
Rick
them
James.
all.
But I got the win. You're a superhero.
There's a lot of superheroes.
Not at that point.
Yeah.
Or in that
That's
universe.
Hell-
It all
that's Hell's
depends
Kitchen,
on
right?
where Netflix's series come in when they
Yeah, Hell's
reinstate them.
Kitchen. Yeah.
Although there were superheroes in that universe because they teetered towards that in the beginning. They were like, hey, I got Avengers footage on this bootleg. So, like, I mean, people could have done something. It wasn't just on this blind lawyer against the world. So he could have called in like a sick day.
Yeah, it wasn't
At a
just this
different
one
point.
blind lawyer against the world. He had competition, a lot of it, and his friend went there because they knew how to show up.
There's a lot of ego involved, man. I mean, it's not just your
Could you
average
imagine
Joe
if
that's going to
they
be a superhero.
Could you imagine if they reintroduced Kilgrave into this whole Phase 5 with Kang,
Oh, please.
I mean, you got the rest.
And Kronos.
Speaking of the hand, you have the rest of them. You have
which would kind of
Jones,
segue into the
Cage.
Defenders coming back?
But you can
like
really
them.
do all
I
of
was
their
a fan of the
characters
Defenders.
new by just saying that Netflix verse was a different universe. But these
Unpopular
people
opinion, I
are
liked
still
Iron
here.
Fist.
I'm
What's that?
sorry. It sounded like you just said.
Unpopular opinion. I actually really liked the show Iron Fist.
It was all right.
I like Danny Rand's character.
It was.
You didn't
I
like
love
it?
how you hit sad trumpet and I hit crickets.
No one liked it. I heard so many bad. Every time, everyone
I
I talk about,
watched the
even you
whole
guys, I think,
thing,
said you didn't
so-
like it.
Look,
I liked
when
it better than Daredevil.
I first saw Iron Fist, I did enjoy it. But then I started reading the content and I realized he didn't just have a glowing fist, he had two, and he could take that glowing power and imbue it into any weapon that was in said fist from like Jump Street because he didn't just run off to America. Ah! He fucking
I think
mastered
Kelly
his
froze.
powers.
No.
Like,
Just
he
watching
was a
that.
monk. He was in an ancient monk city in Tibet. Like, what are you doing? And then they just, God, made him Burger King. Like, no, I got one magic fist that I punch really hard. That was my problem, is they just ignored everything in, like, what that was. Like, it's not taking away from him that, no, you have to start off with one glowing fist, and then you eventually get two glowing fists.
It's
And
not
then,
it's not a-
by the end of, like, the last 5 seconds of the second season, it's like, guess what? I have two glowing fists, and now I have a glowing gun that just killed you. Where did that come from? Oh, I just learned it. You'll never see it, though. Bye. And that was the end of it.
Show's
It just
canceled.
it wasn't managed properly. They just threw something together at the end. They're like, well, you know, we're losing this shit. Just do what you want.
Yeah, they didn't have.
Jessica Jones. The last season of Jessica Jones. Ugh.
About Luke Cage. Luke Cage was good.
Second season was Black Panther 1.5. Except the villain lived. We can keep going through all those shows, honestly. I mean, they were good because we didn't have something to base it off of.
Okay, ready?
We took it
the
as
casting was good.
it was not that normal like 90s superhero movie. We got it as a series because it was Netflix, and Netflix was looking at things from an alternative perspective that we didn't see things. I will stand by Punisher season 1, Daredevil
God.
season 1, Jessica Jones season 1, Luke Cage season 1. I will stand by all of their season 1s. Season 2s are not as good as the season 1s, but they still push forward. Punisher season 2 is probably a standout.
Daredevil season 2.
That
introduced
was good as
Punisher.
well. But 3 kind of like, ooh. And
I
then
never watched
Defenders was
3.
like,
I never watched. That's when right after 3 is when they did the switch, right? Where they.
after,
it-
yeah. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so I never had a chance to watch it. And I was like, man, I mean, I have a lot of shows like that where I refuse like to watch. Like Stranger Things, I just finished 3, but after 1, it was so good.
Max
Then
in the
2 was
family
like,
chat, he said, I've been sleeping on Stranger Things the last
I
season.
heard so many good things about
Me
4
too.
that I had to. Now me and my wife just went back and watched 3.
Well, I watched 3. 3 was
Watch it,
amazing.
please.
But 4, I've been sleeping on. It's like Umbrella Academy. I had somebody say, dude, Umbrella Academy's new season. I've been sleeping on it because I'm just like, man, I know I need to have the time to binge that whole thing. That's why I've been holding off on it, because there's certain shows to where there's this certain anxiety in it that you're on board with the characters in the moment.
Stranger Things did a good job on their show, man.
Oh, yeah. It was good because I'm walking into that and I'm like, I don't know Stranger Things. They're saying it's horror. And then my friend Bob, he was like, no, man, it's actually rooted in nerddom. It's kind of about D&D. And I was like, I don't know nothing about that. He's like, you don't need to. And I eventually pulled the trigger and I enjoyed it. I waited until there was like 2 seasons and I binged it all and I loved it.
We're gonna watch 4 soon. We just got done 3, so because we heard that's what we did. I stopped at 2. Was like, I'm not even gonna watch 3rd. It's kind of stupid now. And then somebody was like, dude, I've heard so many people be like, dude, 4 is so good.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I guess we're gonna have to watch 3 now. So we watched 3 in like a couple weeks. Now we're gonna go watch 4.
Those 2 shows, Stranger Things and Umbrella Academy, they've both been the ones that I've let them sleep a little bit, but then when I watch them, I'm like 100% on board, and I love them. A lot like loving the idea of this next story, because Christian Bale is open to reprising his role as Batman only if Christopher Nolan is involved.
I'm in.
I mean, we got Sam Raimi to come back. What stops Christopher Nolan from coming back?
Christian Bale.
Well, he
Man.
just said, like, if he's doing it, I'm doing it. That's like Hamill saying, well, is Harrison going to do it?
Is Kevin Conroy doing it?
Exactly. That's
How they get each other in on a Batman.
it's
It's
the
like,
Mark Hamill
Hamill-
excuse. He's
And we
pulling a
just-
Mark Hamill.
Can we just get Jack Nicholson to play Joker again?
Oh,
that would be great.
Like an old man Joker. Like that would be
Dude.
so good.
I saw a rumor that HBO Max
Like an
is
old-
thinking about putting The Flash out on HBO Max instead of a theatrical release, just to avoid Ezra Miller's ever crumbling reputation. And
I
I'm
feel bad
100%
for him.
down with that.
I you know, what he's doing is just messed up. I feel bad for him because he's really messed up in the head right now. Like he's going through some major
Dude, he's in a bad
mental
place.
issues.
He's in a bad place, but
He
that
is.
stardom is not good for you. You are not meant to have that many people know who you are. That's why this podcast works, because nobody knows we exist. But I mean, when you look at it, there's that premise, because there's this movie. We have Michael Keaton back. We have Ben Affleck back, and we have a crazy batshit Flash. To where I was listening to Fat Man on Batman, and they said, why don't you do the Zack Snyder? 75 more million, reshoot your main character. I say, the dude who plays Klaus from Umbrella Academy, make him your Flash. That's perfect fucking casting right there. Because he's got the
I don't
dark
know, it wouldn't
hair,
take
Eastern
much to
European.
switch it
Google
over
him.
too.
It wouldn't take much, because what do? You have obviously a bunch of footage of, because how they shoot it. It would be the camera shooting me, and then switching from your perspective, the camera shooting you. So you obviously have a lot of footage of the other person. You just reshoot the Flash, and then you have that CGI. You can easily manipulate that into looking into somebody else.
We got a green screen. Send them over. We'll do it here.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he
Just
kind of
write the
looks. He
lines
kind of
there.
could look like him.
Cross promotion. That's what I'm saying.
I just looked him up. That was the first time I saw him.
That's what I'm saying. I saw that on the internet say that, and I was like, 100%. One punch, buddy.
One punch. Yeah.
100% behind that, because that isn't a viable option that we now have, because Zack Snyder was extremely successful with his
All right,
version
Connor.
and director's cut of the Justice League. So I see that as a way to save this movie. so that we could still get Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck back without the batshit crazy Flash. Old man, what's your take?
I hate to see someone suffering with mental illness like in the public eye, because you get vilified very quickly in this industry.
Oh yeah.
So let's just preface that the shit that he's doing is still reprehensible,
Horrendous.
Let's just also put that out there. Thirdly, where's his parents? That, you know what?
Don't even take the
Where's
parents.
an intervention? Like, I
Where's
understand.
Where's his friends? Are the closest adult? What about your manager, bro? Oh, he obviously
What about the
dumped you.
people? What about the true friends that say, "Bro,
Oh, he killed them.
this is way too far"? Like, not the enablers, because the enablers is where he got. Let's just throw that out there.
Man, but just
Could be
imagine
drugs.
the memoir he's gonna write in the future if he lives. That's gonna be a real fucking
Hendrick's
page
memoir
turner.
would have been amazing. Man. Like Janis Joplin's, that'd be amazing too, man.
No, he'll
were-
be and under someone's watch, thinking that he's running around the padded room as the Flash, because that's where he's going if he doesn't correct his behavior.
That's not
And
far
that's what I
off.
was saying is like, and I said that
You
earlier.
can't do
Same
the
thing, Chris is like, I feel like,
against the law.
yeah, what he's doing is wrong. But I
As
find it-
as a
human, I feel
being.
bad for him because he's got a lot of mental issues that's going through him, and mental illness is a
And-
big thing right now.
we
Yeah, tell
don't
me about it.
know what the history of his background is. We don't know what the
Someone
history of like what happened in his childhood, if there was anything damaging there.
That's
We
a good
don't know
point,
if
though,
there
about
was
the
any-
parents and intervention.
God,
That's a good
if
point.
Yeah,
only.
we don't know if there was any abuse, both like financially or emotionally or mentally. We don't know those things. So,
So, like most things you're saying, we don't know anything.
but our heart's in the right place. We just want him to get better, but he cannot be in the public eye. Some people just can't handle it.
I just
he-
don't see
he-
how
he
our
ruins me.
anatomy
He'll
has
never
anything to
be-
do with it.
He'll never be on TV again.
Well,
I
he's not gonna
people
be
said
with
the same thing
WB.
about Downey when he kept on going into jail. But
Yeah, but he went to jail for things. Not,
Well, here's the thing.
not threatening to kill people and going in their house and
right.
think he's gonna light them on fire.
you don't know,
I
like
got
when
the
he was
solution.
drunk and on a bender, he did do that.
Someone
So
send Robert
this is
Downey over to
one-
talk to him, and that's
Yeah, but
that.
Robert
There you
Downey
Yeah.
Jr. also had
Exactly.
a lot more success before that happened.
Well, here's the thing.
He was much
Yes.
bigger than Ezra was before.
Ezra
Yes,
is
I
an
agree.
up and coming star, yes, but here's the thing. You can't compare him with Robert Downey because Robert Downey, one, his father was a legendary indie film director.
right. So I mean, there's other
Two,
things that are factors.
He
in.
was a child star. And if his bad days, like that is compared to child stars, that was mild. Yeah, there was a lot of drugs and whatever, but he survived it and became a superhero on the back end to where,
And he
a good
turned into
person
Dr.
overall, apparently.
Doolittle.
yeah, he literally turned into Dr. Doolittle.
Literally.
He has a farm full of animals, so he turned his life around. So there is a good side
because
to it.
he had the appropriate people at the right time to support him.
Yeah.
And one of the few people that did was Mel Gibson when he was going through his shit too. So like,
Yeah.
Gonna bury you in a rose
he
garden.
returned the favor with that one too.
I remember all those memes. It was like a Street Fighter-esque picture, and it was like a little rose garden.
And Mel Gibson's mugshot's just sad.
Oh, yeah. You know whose mugshot was really sad? Rip Torn. When he went into that bank with that gun?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, that
Rest
looked
in
like
peace,
your
Rip.
crazy grandfather on Moonshine. Like, what do you mean? There was a pink giraffe.
Rip. Rest in peace, Rip.
I tell you what it wasn't. It wasn't an A-plus idea. But one thing that is our next story, because apluscaterers.com is where you're going to find all the most delicious delicatessens that you could ever want for your next catering or event need. Do you want to be the hit of your next party? This is how you do it, because A-plus caterers, they're the how you get there. Oh, we got a video? Show us that. Scroll down and show us that video footage.
No, that's it.
That's it?
No, that's it.
What the crap?
Show us that beautiful bean
I
food.
gotta.
That's it.
I'm in the way. I'm in the way. All right, they got to work on that footage. Anyway,
It's just at the bottom of the
at
screen.
the bottom of the screen. That's very inconvenient. Anyway, there's obvious bugs to be worked out, but they watch us, so they'll see that. They got a lot of delicious food, man. I've tried it out. This is some of the best food. Not normal catering food. They take it and they put their flair on it, and everybody will love it. They cater to anybody's specific needs, and they're going to be the best idea that you have ever heard of in 2022.
Even if you're into justice.
Exactly. Make sure you let them know that Perjangers sent you with keyword justice. Excuse me. Some of my throat there. But something that's not in my throat is this next story. No giggity. Elden Ring Studio from Software has a new game in final stages of development. Statement came in
Is that a
response.
Transformers game?
No, that's Armored Core. The statement came in response to a question about a 2018 interview, which Mizuki said that 2 of the 3.5 games the studio was working on were still unannounced. Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice being the third, while PSVR exclusive, just going to say it, Durancine accounted for the 0.5 game. One of the unannounced games was Elden Ring, while the other remains to be unannounced. But it seems that this game is development is currently in the final stages. So it's not going to be like the Elden Ring, to where it's like heaven and hell. It's going to be something different. That's where fans are really speculating towards this being Armored Core. Apart from that project, whatever it is, Mizuki is also apparently already beginning work on his next game and is thinking even further down the road over medium to long term. He said that like to work on more abstract fantasy than anything we've done in the past. So he wants to go more abstract and fantasy than what they've done before. What does that even look like?
Timothy Leary.
Shrooms.
In a game?
Mine was more subtle.
Do we go VR with that? Like, is that mentally safe? Do we need like the FDA's approval for a LSD game?
No, you don't tell them it's an LST game. You just produce the game and say, "Hey,
Well, no,
look
that's
what we
marketing.
did."
That's up to marketing. You got
Take this
to
film
put
and
a
go to
positive
sleep.
spin
They're not
on
gonna.
it.
Marketing's not gonna say, "Hey, we got this acid game." How did you program it on acid? That's what I want to know. That's gonna be the shittiest game. There's gonna be so many bugs.
Programming
There's
on
gonna
acid
be more bugs than
may
a
be
Bethesda
part of the
game.
title.
Oversized mushrooms.
Like, what kind of Mario mushrooms
then
were
you
you
think you're
on
a
when you thought of
Mario?
this? Because there is that also along the same kind of line. Hideo Kojima, he came out and said, "Oh, well, I was thinking of a
I
game."
want a game with more talking.
Well, no, he thought of a game along the lines. It was essentially The Boys, and he was like, "Well, now I can't do that."
No, but they talk way less.
Yeah, that's the next story anyway.
But no, it's not. The next story is actually the first AAA title. It's being made in Unreal 5 engine. It's an open world martial arts game called Code to Jin Yong. Tencent owned Lightspeed Studio. Their first AAA open world game, Code to Jin Yong, will be based on what the title implies: Jin Yong Wuxia characters, which it's Japanese or Chinese novels. And they are very famous, with multiple titles getting adapted into TV shows, comics, and other mediums over the years. So it's very popular. But pop the cursor out of the box there, because this is really, Unreal 5 we knew was impressive, but it's unclear whether this is actually in-game footage or this is just cutscene footage. Either way, I don't care, because it looks dope.
The first part looks like cutscene, and then the rest is.
This looks like in-game right here when they start to get into this, because it looks very almost like Naruto mixed with
Yeah, that part's game.
That kind of Chinese like mythos with blades and like anime, how they have like those special attacks where they're attacking with wind.
Yeah, it's just enhanced Dynasty Warriors.
There you go. That's what I was thinking of. Dynasty Warriors.
Like that and Kessen.
Yes.
Kessen too.
But it's almost like with this, it's almost like they're kind of going for like a Tekken kind of flair, to where it's like a Naruto kind of fighter.
Yeah.
I could see a little bit of that, but not. I'm thinking like Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, if they
But-
go with that,
but
or like
fighting.
Sekiro,
Yeah.
like even if it's just kind of like to where if they have it like Naruto,
There's a hand. No.
mystic magical ice hand, but if they keep it like Naruto, like those old Naruto games, not like Shinobi Strike, to where they had that fight battle, and then you had that RPG element to where you're like action adventure, you run around the map and you go places and find shit and talk to people. That with that kind of like almost like what we were talking about, that like Elden Ring kind of From Software kind of feel to this style game, I feel like would be an awesome mix to where you have those big boss battles, but you also have those little battles that you get from Elden Ring and that grinding that you can get from that, to where I think like that mixed with this kind of martial arts style game would be really dope having. But this is one I saw, especially with anything Unreal 5 engine. I mean, when you're in development and stuff like that, it should be highlighted. Lightspeed Studios, it looks amazing. So,
On to the next story.
had to highlight that. A lot like this next story, I had to highlight this. We talked about it previously, and the mod community for this game is absolutely just bar none the best. What is this? That's not the next one.
No, that's how you have it. It was Hideo Kojima.
Go down to the next one, not that one. That I've already mentioned. Yeah, this is the one I have. I forgot to delete that one. But we got a trailer because I forgot. I was just going to mention that boys thing. Didn't delete that story, obviously. Fallout. Fallout London mod trailer reveals a 2023 release date. Fallout London. It's these guys have put so much time and effort into a mod for Fallout 4 to where they want to have another country's version of this timeline, and London is just the perfect place to have this. It narrowed its release window down to 2023, and with that announcement coming a new trailer which showed off more of the mod and its British post-apocalypse. A Fallout 4 mod, Fallout London, is an ambitious fan project that is in development. Team says allows for non-U.S. cultures to be explored and to see what impact the resource wars had on Britain and its class-structured society. To where it's a different look at that world from a different culture, how they developed in this alternative universe. And it honestly, it's just like, why didn't Bethesda do this? It's a slam dunk to where now you have fans making a mod to the point to where they have two former Doctor Who's, Sylvester McCoy and Colin Baker, adding voice acting into this.
Cool.
Two former doctors in London in Fallout. And
So,
nobody at Bethesda thought of this. It took fans to make it.
Guess you could say London's calling.
It is calling. And I've been saying this for
London's
years.
falling.
Wha-
Yeah.
Just like Grand Theft Auto. Why aren't you going overseas? Grand Theft Auto has notoriously had London in their collective. Fallout, I mean, you have a whole overseas war in your history. Why aren't you capitalizing on this, even on an RTS base, to expand the story? It just seems like they're just leaving so much on the table.
I'm just going a spade, but like Bethesda rolled out supplying Russia with any of their products. So why not? Perfect time to make a game about Russia and vilify them.
Yeah, I mean, Well, I mean, this is a fan project, so you could have that kind of influence. But they've been working on this for like a long time, and especially with how good it looks, they took so much time. You're looking at all the different terrain, all the different, and they're supposedly being more focusing on melee weapons and less over firearms, which makes sense because there's not a very big firearm presence over in the UK. Obviously, they don't have a right to bear arms. So there's differences that will be subtle, but also with gameplay. There's one part in the gameplay to where they just got bullets firing like a Hail Mary. All right, so you'll still have guns, but like Fallout, you have to have proper ammo management. It's an apocalypse. Nobody's just sitting there fucking making bullets. You know what I mean?
Unless you got it.
They go to my forge.
So it's like, Fallout London is set 50 years before the events of Fallout 4 and is aiming to create a grittier experience that emphasizes the use of melee over firearms. The trailer shows surviving British landmarks such as Big Ben and the Tower of London and more. So we got that going for us. Fallout London, get it on your Fallout 4 as a mod in 2023. At some point, it's coming. Giggity. So, something else that's coming is our last story. Sega announced their open world Sonic game, Sonic Frontiers, a long time ago. But apparently, it has traditional levels as well. There's actually a trailer below. There's like an ad. Just hit it and I'll keep talking. There we go. Oh, there isn't an ad. There we go. Yeah, this is it. Sonic Frontiers is an open world Sonic game, or as the creator calls it, an open zone game. But within those open zones are portals that transport Sonic to cyberspace, an alternative dimension where he gets to sprint, grind, and jump through traditional 2D and 3D Sonic levels. So we see in the trailer, there's this kind of open zone mechanic to where, you're going to be able to run and go wherever you want, and it's just this kind of map. We made this map. You run here, goals, do Sonic stuff. Overall, it looks great. Looks fun. There's a little bit more of like the cyber. This is the cyber space here to where it kind of gives me that GTA vibe to where eventually they'll have like a Sonic level creator here in the cyberspace to where you can mix the 2 and 3D levels and make your own, which would be cool. It's still I'm still as interested in this game. I mean, open zone, 2 3D world, I don't care. It looks good. What do you think, old man?
I enjoyed the last the redone of like Sonic Mania. I enjoyed playing those games because I'm playing Sonic since it first came out.
Yeah.
I'm still cautiously optimistic because whenever you take a property and make a open world that has notoriously been platformer, it hasn't been well received. But I hope they just learn the first time around from the Sonic Adventure games on the Dreamcast.
Yeah, because I did enjoy those, but it was just I had nothing else to do when I played those. I'll put it that way.
Right. Except for those little like pets that you had to do on the controllers.
Yeah, like that was like if they learned from those games that game, yes, but
yeah, I'm going to give you this pill.
I see it as like a play on words. Open zone. Oh, it's not open world, it's open zones. That just means it's a classic Sonic game. You just made the levels
Really
bigger.
big.
Yeah, you just made them really big. It's
Okay,
still
that's
Sonic.
cool.
You have that Sonic level, and you may spend more time on that level because it's not 2D, and you have more area.
Will they give him the ability for supersonic travel, which is the version of fast travel? Because you can't say he's fast traveling across the map if you want to just open your map and go to the other point.
I guess that depends on how big they make the map, because with Sonic, the whole goal is running. So you want the map big, but also that's the supersonic would almost make it like an easy quick travel, like you're saying, but it kind of defeats the purpose of a Sonic game. You know what I mean? Your whole goal is to run, and the quick travel is saying, I don't want to run there.
Yeah, but what about the people who just want to play the story and not have to worry about doing anything? They can just go to the
story
quick point and go.
mode, son.
Tough.
Story mode. You got that story mode, or yeah, suck lemons. I don't know. That's it. Like
This is the game we made. You don't like it, don't play it.
that's it.
There you go.
You got that Italian
I
mentality.
probably won't play it.
We don't need you anyway. You know how long we've been making games? We don't need
Yeah, don't
you.
care.
We got other people.
You also used to make a console.
Shh, we don't need to hear from you.
That didn't work out. But I really hope that this will work out because Sonic needs to be continue to be a mainstay in geek culture. It can't just, pop out there like Cubert.
Hubert was awesome in the 80s.
We don't need
Hubert's
to
still awesome.
we don't need to reference Sonic like that. That's why this next game needs to hit. I guess that's my overall point. But this story might actually make a good example for our end segment, which I pulled from my original idea last week before last week's podcast went to sunder. What character would make a good roommate and why? I mean, Sonic, I imagine he would be a good roommate just because, you have... He's quick. So if you need something clean, you need something fixed quickly, just boom, Sonic. Could you do this real quick? Done. I see him as a good roommate.
All right. What about a roommate for anything?
Any character, who's your roommate?
On a comedic level, Ace Ventura.
Dude, I see why, but I just see that as so much effort, and it would get so old.
I got one.
Okay.
Spider-Man. He'd be cool. He's never home.
He's really tech handy, too. When he's
Make
here.
sure you get superhero insurance. Your house going to get blown up.
The Green Goblin's going to visit. He's going to visit.
Yeah. Get some really good insurance. But
Who covers, superhero insurance? You know how expensive that would be?
where do you live?
We may have to replace not only your whole house, but the pipes, lines, and utilities, all the utilities that go to it in a 5-mile radius.
I'll tell you this.
Because your son's Spider-Man.
I'll tell you this. They sell terrorism insurance.
I got nothing to say after that.
I knew that was coming.
Old man, you got that? You got anything on that?
Would you
I
like some
heard-
terrorism insurance? I
I'm not
also
even gonna
sell
get into the
elephant
whole insurance
repellent.
thing.
Elephant repellent cloud insurance?
Yeah, cloud insurance too.
Ain't
Say
seen them
where they
clouds
are.
attack.
You're insured.
They stay up there because they know we got insurance. Love Family Guy. But
Shop. What the hell do we call it?
this
Say
is
some cloud insurance.
coming to the PJ store soon.
Yeah, weekly basis.
You know what? When we go subscription, that's what we make our subscription-based service called cloud insurance.
That's awesome.
Oh, that would be so great. Would you like cloud insurance? Subscribe to
Cloud
PJWH.
insurance.
That's great. We made it. We made it by the end. Ultimately, I was thinking of it like MCU or superhero wise. Is there any superhero you would want? Like you mentioned Spider-Man, big brother. Me, I mean, I can't help but think like Professor Xavier would be helpful.
Yes, but he would also be penetrating your thoughts with his mind. So
Giggity.
No. That's tough. That's a toughie. I mean, Batman
about
would just be cool to be on the fly on the wall kind of thing.
A 20 or 30s year old like Avatar, like Aang or Korra, to where they're not in that tumultuous. They're like a level-headed adult, so they have amount of like understanding of their powers. Like, yeah, man, I'm just living here to help you out. You're a good friend. I know you need. Oh, you need that fixed? Wah, metal bend, new pipes. Korra. So we'll stick with Korra because she has all that knowledge of all those other avatars behind her. So
No, she got severed.
yeah, but before the severing, it's like the doctor's the No Way Home, to where you
tap into that power.
you pull her out of a specific point in time. You were like, hey, before you fucked up everything, you're my roommate.
I would have chose Aang if that was the question.
Look, I mean, yeah, but Aang, a little bit too jokey, man. A little bit too like pranksterous. Like,
Not when he's in his adult years, because they do the flashbacks.
all right, that's
before.
fair. That's fair. But he did just like, I'm taking away your bending. He got very like Nazi there. Like, guess what? No bending. Calm down, Aang. Maybe he just had a rough life. Can we talk to him first? Nope. He's forever not gonna bend. I don't think. I mean, there is a little bit of that kind
How's
of
he gonna
dictator
sit?
thing. You know, well, not
He's gonna
no.
have to
I mean,
stand forever. That
elemental.
poor guy.
I'm taking away your tendons.
This
God,
is gonna be
Aang was
complicated.
such a bigger dick than we originally thought.
He's got magic legs.
Guess what? No tendons, man. How you gonna bend now? Literally no bending. God, we made him.
That's what happens after 40.
We made him such a villain. Just everybody just in terror, like, don't piss off the Avatar. You won't be able to sit down ever again. What? He takes away your tendons. That would
Bathroom is a piss.
that would be the rumor. Like, oh my God,
Half
that
the
Avatar
time.
is a horrible person. He's a dictator. And that's how the people take him down. They just swarm him like a zombie horde. And that's how the next Avatar gets created. In a long roundabout way, but obviously not a good roommate. Overall, I guess we just need Tim the Toolman Taylor, and everybody be happy. Absolutely. So this is none other than our long, drawn-out ending to the podcast. Did we miss a character in the end credits that you think we should have mentioned? Oh,
That guy from the thing.
he did the other thing.
Yeah, he's the best guy.
He does the thing like nobody else does.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to hop over to that Contact Us page and let us know. You have a Luggy and Nutty ride? You
What
have
was
a
Alan
podcast?
Rickman's character in Galaxy Quest? Because that would have just been funny.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
He played Falcon Roy.
No, he played like the mock Spock. It was fuck. Alan Rickman was an amazing actor, and I forget
Yes.
that because we watched Galaxy Quest not that long ago, and it was still such a good movie. Damn. But if you know, maybe you want to contact us. We end off this podcast the same damn way, is with the thank yous. We want to thank you to Mark Gervais, A Plus Catering, Catherine Franks, Moiselle Robinson, Matthew Kennedy, all of our extended Wallhanger family, and you, loyal Wallhanger, for tuning in here every week. You will find us producing more Perjanger content on Facebook.com/TriForcePod. You'll tune in every single Sunday to Facebook.com/Lugnuts Podcast to find that other show that we do with our omnipotent presence. You might actually see him. It kind of matter. It's a little bit here and there because, you know, he kind of mixes with the white behind me.
The voice matches the face.
Although it depends on the screen, apparently.
Yeah. But this is none other than a long drawn out goodbye. I'm your host, Matthew Bugerl, the Madman. To my left is Christopher Bristow, the old man. We had 1 hour Iron Kelly involved. We have Big Brother Stephen Bugerl, our omnipotent presence that is, as well as our hero of time mascot, Link Diablo, wishing you to stop back next week because we love you. We miss you. We want to see you then. Until then, game on, Wallhangers! Bye-bye!
Oh no, we gotta end it.
Shut
Oh my
it
gosh.
off.
All right, bye.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
would you?
Play on Bajangers. That was a good segue. Our Island Kelly.
So, first one in the live folder should be Trigon. Trigon Stampede. Have you or your daughter watched Trigon?
I have not.
What about your daughter? She's
She's
more
right here.
she's more cultured in anime than you are.
That she is, but
Well, you should definitely check it out because Vash the Stampede, the original run with Trigun, I did it at the old network during an anime club. it was, I said, oh, yeah, I like a lot of anime. I was like, oh, I will definitely watch that. Eventually, I went through a lot of that old back catalog that I did say I would watch, and this is one that I was really glad I did because it's funny and quirky, and it's along that kind of 90s style anime that it's got that moral compass, but also it's a good, just Western. Almost like in that same vein of like Cowboy Bebop, I would hold Trigun to. And that's why I'm really excited. They're going to be doing a reboot for this series, Trigun Stampede, which is from the series Trigun writer Yashiro Natawa. And it's one of my favorite anime, man. So I had to add that in there as soon as we saw it. We would have done this if we went live last week, but unfortunately,
I will turn you
we
right
didn't.
off.
Oh, with your rig. He's always had the Reagan when the Velociraptor is a classic staple old
We
man.
see it.
It's
We
when
see it.
he does the other
see it.
cutesy shit and he
got
starts zooming in and out. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's the stuff that gets under my fingernails, but I actually like the Reagan on a Velociraptor. I'm not gonna lie, especially since he's holding that Uzi in his hand. I mean, how could you argue with Reagan with an Uzi?
Yeah.
Well, not for long is the answer.
I do not recall.
I smell hippies.
Mr. President, if you happen to be selling arms to our arch nemesis, jot it down next time.
Something else that's being jotted down is this next story in the live folder. Yeah. Because Avatar, the series creators, are pretty much making their own universe here with the series. There's 3 movies that are going to be in development. No details on said movies, but old man, I wanted to get your opinion. I saw a little meme of like a rumor that the first movie is going to be on the Woman Earth Airbender that was before Aang.
Yoshi.
Yeah, Hiyoshi. And then one with Zuko and one with Korra as movie-wise. Honestly, I can see where that's the logical move to go with, like a animated movie-wise that way on expanding those characters, but I kind of wanted something new, like an area we didn't see before, you know, like a new Avatar, an old Avatar that we haven't seen before, you know? Like, give me a waterbender Avatar. Well,
Named
no, we got
Falcon
that.
Roy.
Like an Earth or a Firebender Avatar that, you know, Kyoshi, yeah. Earthbender, she separated a continent to like a island. Like, that's very impressive. And yes, I will watch that as a movie because I kind of feel like that should be a series.
It should.
In this realm, to where we have these IPs to where you can do the HBO Max and just have a series to develop this idea and people will go and watch it because we will watch all this stuff from the fandom. I think that's what people are eventually finally realizing is like, you could put out whatever good idea you want. I will watch it. It doesn't matter if it's Ben Affleck, Christian Bale, or, you know, Michael Keaton. I'll watch all of them. It's the same effect for other nerddoms, especially like with Avatar, which has a very, very strong nerddom behind this because people always considered it like the American anime because it's not anime, but it's animation, but it's close enough to where it kind of pulls from both, and it's a nice bleed through. To where I got a lot of hope for this. What would you like to see movie-wise?
Give me a Firebender Avatar. I mean, I know we had. I know we had
or Aang, the one who is before Aang. I forget his name right now. Lord
Larry.
Lord Larry.
Yeah,
Roku.
Lord Larry.
Roku, yes. Like the streaming stick. But yeah, I mean, even a movie on him. Not necessarily. I don't need Zuko, but give me like a movie on that Avatar and his merry band of misfits and how he like a good journey with them. I think would be a nice movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or just, you know, a future Avatar that has all those sub-abilities, you know, instantly, like lightning and metal bending and all that. That'd be really dope. That'd be a fulfilling adventure if you just took it into the future like that. And it's like, yeah, well, the Avatar actually after the spirit thing, they kind of course corrected. I really want them to course correct because I don't like how Korra ended.
Does Korra have bloodbending? I don't know.
Well, she was a waterbender, so she had the blood bending.
Okay, because I feel like they should do a movie where it's an avatar that is able to like master bloodbending.
Ooh. Or at least the companion who's just like, you know what? Bloodbending has a bad stigma against it, but I got to tell you, I use it for good.
Say so many things.
Use it for good.
Yeah, giggity.
And thus I remain.
The bloodbending for good charity. I would be helping out a lot of senior citizens.
My joke was way funnier.
But next in the book, we got this one. I found it cool because Kyle Mechlin, he was on Twin Peaks. You know that guy behind my face.
Oh, yeah. He's been in everything.
He's on Fallout as a regular. So Amazon Prime's Fallout series is gaining him, which that is talent that I figured deserved highlighting in the end credits because all the stuff that guy's in is amazing.
I agree.
That's why I think that Fallout probably going to be that series like The Boys, to where you're going to be like, dude, I can't wait for that next season of Fallout. It is so much better than 76. Although that's a low bar.
76.
That's a low bar. It's like saying, oh, well, you know, we do have, we got a Fallout 5 coming after Elder Scrolls 6. Well, that would mean you would have to release Elder Scrolls 6. And I don't know that you're actually going to do that.
They just started it 3 years ago.
I kind of feel like you should have been prepping before that.
They're working on it. They had a randomly generated area, and they're going to start with that. And we're going to do something, and good luck for the next 35 years.
You make the story.
Yeah, for 35 years.
Good luck. You do it.
The Empire, there, whatever, and stuff's whatever. Hey, there you go. Hey, there's also no NPC. Hey.
So like,
oh, you didn't add a game. Okay, wake me when you have a game.
We can add 1 hour Iron Kelly to the chat as we end off this live segment with, you have to think about your deck. You know, you just sit there and say, how is your deck? Well, if you have a stream deck, you may not want to do that SSD upgrade because it's going to shorten the life of your deck.
No one wants a short deck.
No, nobody wants
There's
a short
pill
deck.
for that.
Exactly. Nobody wants a short deck. So you don't want to shorten the life of your stream deck. Because the stream deck, it's a nice deck.
You just notice she was there?
You want a nice shiny deck.
It's a nice black shiny deck.
Yeah.
And you don't want to shorten the life of that because everybody wants the long life in their deck. I guess is my overall point of this story. So just leave the regular hard drive in there. Don't put an SSD in your deck. That's going to shorten the life of your deck. It's almost like a disease, really.
No one wants a short, limp deck.
No. It's the overall message of this end credit, really. As Kelly sips coffee ever so perfectly. Good. Hello, sir. I'm so glad you joined the end credits.
Let me make it even more perfect.
There you go. This sponsor sip inadvertently brought to you by Steam. Go out and buy your Steam Deck today because you should have a nice deck. That's really all I wanted to accomplish from that.
Yeah, baby.
I could be smart. So that was the live. Has everybody caught up on Obi-Wan?
Yes, I have.
Oh, Kelly, you bastard.
Kelly, what are you doing?
He has to give him.
I'm trying to watch the 70,000 hours of SG1 first. All right.
Why?
You
That's
need
a
to watch the
huge
6
commitment.
episodes of Obi-Wan.
First off, it's a huge commitment. Second off,
take a pause.
Obi-Wan
for,
is
like,
6 episodes, bud. 6.
Seriously, that's not that
prioritize.
much.
Less is more.
Watch it every.
No. I gotta watch every Star Trek and Next Generation episode before I get to that.
That is a huge.
Stargate.
Oh no, I was just making fun of you with a different.
You
nerd.
look a lot like MacGyver.
Yeah, we're making fun of you.
I
this
know. I
week.
don't have the hat on, and my hair is getting really long right now.
More MacGruber than MacGyver, but still funny.
That's all right. I'll rip throats out.
But overall, like I was telling Kelly before, I really non-spoilery. That show, one by the end makes the Jedi. It shows you the Billy badassness of the Jedi by that final scene. You know what I'm talking about, old man. And then by the end of the show, you get everything you want in a nice package. Now, a lot of people are arguing about how it seems broken, a lot like Obi-Wan as a character in the series, but it's the journey that we never thought we'd get, because this was supposed to be one movie that we got into essentially
way more.
6 hours of content. So overall, I love the experience. Every Star Wars fan that I meet in my day-to-day, I suggest if they have not watched it, to watch it, because it's that good. Just like Book of Boba and Mando. All these shows under the Favreau-Filoni tent are just golden. That's why I'm excited for Andor now. I didn't even know I wanted an Andor series. Now I'm over the moon excited for it. How do you feel, old man?
I'm that scene at the end. My God.
Spoiler free, Kelly.
It's spoiler.
Oh, he
free.
has his headphones off. But when fucking Vader and goddamn
Yeah.
Okay, now-
No.
yeah, no.
Look, we can
But when
wait.
Vader, but when
until
Vader and Obi-Wan
he
fight
sees
at the
it.
end is what we're overall saying. So overall, man, that end scene when he's tossing all the rocks, it just brought me back to the old Republic and Force Unleashed. You know what I mean? With the powers, to where when you're a Jedi counselor, that's your first power in the old Republic.
I saw a meme that says it had Vader,
Hold on, we
and he was
might get
talking
some
to a
singing.
therapist, and his therapist
Oh,
said,
we gonna
"What
get
did
any
you do?"
singing?
he's like, you know,
Say it again.
"Like, what did you do?"
Hello.
I gave him the high, like I had the
Hello,
high ground.
Charlie.
And what did you do? I gave him the high ground. And then when did he end up happening? He had the high ground.
That's hilarious. But Charlie's entered the chat as well.
So I had to take my headphones off so you guys could talk about Obi-Wan.
Yeah. We had a
I
nice
didn't
little
say
chat.
anything that wasn't like damning.
Oh, no, nothing damning. It's just overall,
It's
in-
really good.
and I think you'll agree with this, Kelly, is overall in Star Wars, when you look at the content that we've gotten, you haven't really seen Jedi be badass like we got in the Force Unleashed games, or even like I experienced in the Old Republic MMO. There's a certain level of magnitude that the Jedi have just been like almost like clever tricksters with the Force, and that's almost like nobody believes in the Force in the Skywalker saga. It's just like a bunch of ancient religious wizards. They kind of pass it off, but then you see a scene to where you're like, oh, to where it brings it back to like that first moment when you saw the Force Unleashed games, and you're like, dude, he just ripped the door off the hinges in this gameplay. It gives you that kind of excitement. And it's that kind of excitement that we're getting from all the shows. So out of what you have seen from Book of Boba Fett, and where are you, as a side question, out of all you've seen from Book of Boba Fett, and I'm assuming you're caught up on Mando, how are you liking where Star Wars is going as opposed to what we've seen in the series?
So Mandalorian was amazing. Like really amazing. Book of Boba Fett, I'm only a couple episodes in. But I've heard a few good things, but I've heard a lot of like it wasn't as good as people thought it was going to be.
I think people had high expectations for Boba Fett. That's what I think. I think they had a lot of high expectations for Boba Fett, and they wanted him to be that bounty hunter. But as a character, he wasn't that guy. You're starting off with a guy who was an ass, and he's in a sarlacc pit, digging his way out, and then he gets captured by locals who are not very friendly. So you have to, they're like, oh, well, he's not bounty hunter Boba Fett. Well, put your heart onto the side and actually look how they're
To their
developing
credit,
the
they
character.
were quoted saying,
That was on record. That was on statement. I'm not doing a Sand People impersonation. That's just you two. Goddamn racial bigots. Anyway,
Utati.
Ajima Pinky.
Elise can't hear you guys because you're coming to the headphones. She just looked at me like, what the hell are you doing?
Sand People.
Clearly.
They don't travel in single file lines.
No, they only
It's the Tuscan
travel in
Raiders
single file.
podcast.
Oh, yeah.
They only travel.
They only travel in single file lines to hide the numbers.
All right.
So we want them to like and subscribe. Hit right above my head is the very best Perjangers Wallhangers video for you, and right above the Perjanger box is every single Triforce podcast in a playlist, all 152 of them, man. A lot of content, but of course this podcast does not end until our main man Cotter says
Buns.
bye-bye.
Buns.